Hey now, welcome to another edition of Refreshing Thoughts. I am your host, Chris Fresh, and this is a show that talks about toys, geeky stuff I'm into, a little bit of everything. So if you're new to it, welcome. And if you're old to it, thank you for the support. And thank you to the awesome Shine, who did our intro theme. You can find them at the Shine Worldwide on Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Music, where all good rock music is found. And if you want early and ad-free access to the Refreshing Thoughts episodes on the Patreon app, you can subscribe to my Patreon. It helps keep the lights on with Refreshing Thoughts, Geek Dudes, and Hey Hey, it's a podcast. $5 Australian a month if you can afford to help the show. It's at patreon.com/C/refreshing thoughts podcast/membership. Thank you if you can support. But also, thank you if you were just subscribing on YouTube and checking out the show or even listening to it. Big shout out to Joe's Toy Box, who got the prestigious 100th subscription to Refreshing Thoughts. Little hurt that he hadn't subscribed earlier, but look, I'm going to let it go. But no, the channel is growing more than what I thought it would. I didn't know whether there'd be an appetite to see another middle-aged white man talking about dollies on the interwebs, but here we all are. So I hope you're getting something from this, because I get something from it. It's a good time. I'm trying to have a topic each and every show, and what has sort of popped up, I guess, in how I've been feeling, and it's something I've touched on a few times, is the highs and lows of modern toy collecting. I've been talking about how in Australia there's been a resurgence in toy availability on the shelves. You know, Kmart and Target and Toy World have been getting a lot of Mattel product, be it Masters of the Universe, their collabs with Transformers and Thundercats. We've been getting Jada Toy Street Fighter. We've been getting NECA Ninja Turtles and Jaws figures. There was the Playmates Power Rangers stuff that's popped up on the shelves. There's blockies everywhere. Like, there is a lot of toy stuff. And also, like, your high-end stuff, like your Mondos and all that sort of your Joy Toys, who just showed that awesome Ninja Turtles party wagon, which I might have pre-ordered. Thanks, Shugo Toys. Well, kind of thank you. Like, they made it available. I'm giving them money. But yeah, so there's stuff everywhere, you know, and it feels like we haven't had it so good. But, you know, it goes back and forth, doesn't it? So let's talk about, the week that I had. I found on the shelves at Big W here in Australia, the 2000X Master of Universe figures. Now, these, it feels like they just got announced. Not as high end as the Mondos, but for the price point, you're talking like a $26 Australian figure compared to a $200 Australian figure, maybe more when you include taxes and shipping and everything like that. So really, we're talking two different beasts. But if you're looking for a cool, cheap, on-the-shelf representation of Master Universe 2000X, I thought these guys were pretty good. And yeah, just to walk in and find them on the shelves yet again, another big win. And I got Triclops and He-Man. They didn't have the Stratos that I think is in the line in Series 1. But yeah, Big W's been pretty good with Origins the whole way through. And it was weird because we didn't get He-Man like originally. I think they started with Wave 2. But we've had a pretty consistent flow of Origins, and it's been pretty obtainable if you're an Australian collector. And now Mattel Creations has launched in Australia, and you can get some of the exclusives. Like, I missed out on it, but I really would have liked to have gotten the She-Ra and Swiftwind. Looked really cool. And yeah, I snoozed and I loosed. They've got that cool new Scorpion Horde figure. Yeah, so we're getting a lot of this stuff made available to us locally. And that's where it ebbs and flows. I talk about Mattel Creations, how they've launched in Australia. But something that hasn't launched in Australia is Hasbro Pulse. And Hasbro Pulse is like a subscription service. I believe if you subscribe to it, you sort of get free shipping and you get access to Hasbro product that's not available at retail. I hear mixed reviews on it that, you know, the Ecto Glow San Diego stuff and the future Ecto Glow stuff is not available to us here in Australia. Not even on a website for us to buy. It is a Hasbro Pulse exclusive, which means we are out of luck here in Australia. And it's been very spotty on whether EB or Zing will get that product in. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Like you can walk into JB Hi-Fi and Zing at the moment and get the Void Rivals Jetfire and Void Rivals 2-pack. Or you can walk into Zing and get the Jada Toys exclusive Street Fighter 2 Bison and Sim with the fiery bodies. But we miss out on a lot of stuff. We just recently had New York Toy Fair. I didn't cover it in depth. Places like Toy Power, Toy Anxiety, Geek Dad Life, like they covered it far better than what I could. Although if that's something in future, like when a big toy happening happens, if you would like me to do a dedicated episode where I show images and talk about my thoughts, let me know. We do sort of loosely talk about stuff on Geek Dudes, but that's strictly a verbal medium, and Geek Dudes isn't for everybody. Like we're unapologetically not safe for work is how I would say it. And I wouldn't have it any other way. But yeah, if that's something you'd like me to do, I can certainly do it. Heaven knows I'm looking for topics. But one of the items that caught my eye was the Apocalypse. They announced a X-Men 97 Apocalypse. I believe he's going to play a big part in the next season of X-Men 97. If you haven't watched X-Men 97, it was awesome. And I'm a big Apocalypse fan. I've got a lot of Apocalypse figures. He's one of my favorite memories and characters, not from my childhood, from my teen years when I discovered the X-Men cartoon on Cheese TV here in Australia. And I just think he's awesome. Cable and Apocalypse are my jam. Love those guys. And I saw that Pop Culture got a guy that I adore that's connected with pop culture. I have nothing against pop culture. I love going down and visiting it and stuff. It can be a little slow and a little bit pricey at times, and I say that in all honesty as a collector. I'm not here to bullshit you about the scene or how things are. I don't think I've got enough viewers to be an influencer. Sorry, Joe's Toy Box. Being subscriber to 100, unfortunately, hasn't made me an influencer yet. Happy to be an influencer. I'll review products on the show. I'll sell out. Don't you worry. But I'm just a collector. And, I've appreciated what pop culture has made available to Australia. I was able to get that awesome Fright Zone and stuff. But I found out that they're going to get the Apocalypse in, which is awesome because it's a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. And we've got till November 10th, which is awesome because it's been an expensive month. And I saw this. Yeah, that is $239.99. That's a lot of dollary dues. Like we've been talking about thresholds of figures and prices. The Maximum Series Spider-Man, which was one of the early Refreshing Thoughts shows that I did, where it was like, let me get this figure that's got all this articulation. I don't really care about articulation because I'm not a big articulation guy. I'm not a big player of figures. I'm a terrible poser. I sort of just stand them there, but I enjoy them, and that's what counts. But this is a next level. And I was thinking to myself, it's going to be like 12 inches, this figure, which is fair enough. A Hot Toys is 12 inches. And this will last longer than a Hot Toys. Those things disintegrate over time. $239 is a lot of money. $199 maybe would have sounded better, but $239, will I get it? Probably. Because, I've got so many Apocalypse figures and stuff, and this figure looks amazing. But, I'm hesitating. That's how I missed out on She-Ra and Swiftwind. It makes me go, that's a lot of money. Like, for context, Um, the Mondo 6-inch figures with the ghosts, which are a lot bigger and stuff, and they'll be a lot more high end. I wouldn't know. We'll get to that in a minute. They'll be a lot more high end than the Apocalypse. They sort of, if you break it down, work out to be one 180 per figure, 190 per figure, 190. They're 190 per figure. What and think about what I'm saying. Like 6-inch scale figures. We're talking the $200 Australian and above mark. And to me, that's a low in collecting because times are tough. Here's me asking you for $5. But it's a lot of money to ask of a collector, and everybody's chasing our dollar. We're the prettiest girl at the ball, right? But there, there, there's so much cool product, and I understand it's first world problems. Some people can't pay the bills, some people can't do this. Some of us enjoy this dopamine for their mental health. It makes them feel good to collect. It's part of who they are. And I don't want to say it's stressful, but it's a bit of a bummer when something that perhaps should be a bit more accessible is so expensive. And I'm terrified that Jacob Walsh is going to do a sad comments on me. But I'm not sad. It's just I guess I'm just talking about the realism, the realistic thing of the modern world of, you know, we're going to miss out on a lot of cool stuff just because we can't afford it. And there's options everywhere of what to buy. Like, did I have to get the Joy Toy Party Wagon? I could have got the Apocalypse and did that this week out of the budget. Then I forgot that I had Ray and Mr. Gash on. I didn't have it on pre-order, and he's the fourth real Ghostbuster. It would be madness for me to have three Ghostbusters from Mondo and not have the fourth one. He's a lot of money. Then I had a lot of people messaging me in celebration because word got out that finally to Australia, months after Americans got it, that the shipment from Mondo is on the way. As you can see, it's been dispatched. This was the email I got. My Peter Venkman and Sam Hain is on its way. It's a Halloween miracle. And just in time, because I was sort of feeling a bit shirty that I've got an October 30th cutoff to order Ray and Mr. Gash. They've announced a alternative Sam Hain, which is even cooler, that glows in the dark and comes in with these little goblins that in the second episode of Sam Hain appears in. They're the little guys that let him out. Comes with a cool, sick Slimer that I know exactly what it's from when I see it. And how many really expensive Mondo figures am I going to be in the hole? I've got a Super Shredder. Thanks to Colin Betts aiding and abetting, no pun intended. Probably a lot of pun intended. I've got a lot of stuff on pre-order and no product to show for it. Now, I was a little suspicious when I was sent this tracking number because it said shipment notification received. Now, as somebody that sort of works in an area of shipping for a major company, that does not mean that the shipping company has the product. It just means that it's like a letter of intent from a business going, we plan on shipping through you. Now, Mondo, for what it's worth, have said to me, DHL have this product. They've assured us they're moving it. You'll get a tracking number. Deal with DHL. So I got my tracking number. Nothing's happened for a week. So I contact DHL, and you know what they told me. You just know it. They said, we haven't got it. Contact Mondo. Now, the only information I've gotten from Mondo is because I've reached out to them. And, the person that responds to me at Mondo is fantastic. They get back to you. Like, their customer service is not bad. This situation and their public communication about it is terrible. Like, we have spent a lot of money. A lot of us are well over $1,000, like well over. $1,000, like closer to $2,000 in the hole on Mondo pre-orders, and not getting proactive communication is really disappointing. Um, so can you imagine? Can you imagine how I felt when not only has that not moved and I haven't got it, I had to pre-order the Ray and Missy Ash to complete that. They're saying that Sam Hain, you're going to have a Halloween weekend window to decide whether you want this $200 Australian plus figure or not, because there's going to be 135 USD and it will be 50 Australian shipping, so that's 108. It's going to be about 250 Australian at the end of the day. Then Americans started posting this. That's right. The Ghostbusters News, great site. You should follow them if you're into Ghostbusters. I definitely do. Ghostbustersnews.com is their website, at Ghostbusters News everywhere. They're on Blue Sky, which usually means they're on the right side of history. They said that Mondo's the real Ghostbusters, Egon Spengler and the Boogeyman. Look at that creepy Boogeyman. Boogeyman terrified me as a kid. Forget your Jasons and your Freddys and your Michael Myers and your Waynes and Garths. It was Boogeyman and the Terror Dog when I was a kid, petrified me. And it's ridiculous that I think it's really cool. I'm getting collectibles of them now as adults, but they messed me up as a kid. They're shipping. Right. You haven't shipped my first one that Americans got back in August, and they're meant to be the people with all the tariff issues and everything. I don't understand what's going on. So Egon and Boogeyman was pre-ordered for me by my beautiful wife as a Father's Day gift because it said it would be here in September, which was really nice of her because it's really expensive. So I messaged Jessie and I said, "Hey, did you get a shipping notification on Egon and Boogeyman?" No, no shipping notification. No Venkman and stuff. And ultimately, it does come down to me, right? Because I can speak with my dollars and go, "Hey, Mondo, that's enough." But because they're timed editions, you do get punished if you don't buy them because the secondary market prices are going to rocket. And I think Mondo make the best stuff out there. I really love Mondo stuff. I just feel like they're not treating me great. And I guess Australia is not an important market to them. And it's certainly not the people that you see front facing, the artists, the sculptors, the people that work on this stuff, don't have a go at them. They're not the problem. I've joked with Alex Brewer on Gotham City Tonight, but he does with Ryan Dole, and Alice, I've joked, what have you got against Australians? But, it's all he's done is designed an awesome product that looks amazing. These people, Attack Peter and people like that, Hector Arce and stuff, are not the people that, I should be annoyed at. It's the logistics team, it's the people behind the scenes that are in charge of that sort of communication and getting the product to us. And I just feel it's a disrespect of our dollars a little bit when we've invested so much into their company ahead of time to not to get like a bullshit shipping notification after waiting this long. It sucked. And then to see people are getting the next Ghostbuster shipped to them already, and I haven't even got the first one, and I'm not the only one. There are other Australians. I believe there are Canadians. There are other people internationally. There is an international logistic problem with Mondo, and they're not talking. And maybe they can't talk, but just an email going, "Hey, sorry, there's been another delay," I'd feel a bit better about it because I do trust them and I like their product, and I know I will get them. And I'm fortunate that I've been in a position to be able to get them. But it just sort of sucks as a collector when you want to get excited about something. Now, going back to Apocalypse, you can pay an installment, which helps. You can pay half now, I think, and half when he comes in. Do you know when it says that he comes in? The end of next year. The end of next year. Like, why even put it on sale now? it's not a Kickstarter, but is it? Like, that's a long time for me to spend a lot of money on a dolly that I'm not gonna see for a year. Like, I know with HasLabs and stuff, like, I backed the HasLab Ecto 1. I knew it was gonna be a year, possibly a little bit longer because they're sort of not putting it into production until their campaign ends. But that's a little bit different. Like, can't Hasbro have that ready to go and go, "Hey, $240, please?" Um, so not only do I have to make a big financial decision, you have to make a big financial decision to something you want. You're not even gonna get it in hand until the end of next year. I just sort of feel the whole model that a lot of toy companies is using at the moment isn't great. Where Mattel are sort of like, "We're doing 2000X stuff, bam, here they are at Big W." You know? Or you can see there's some wrestling figures down there that, turned up at Kmart. Um, but yeah, it's I don't know. What do you think? Leave me in comments below. Am I being a whiny bitch? Probably a little bit. Do you have any issues? Is the price of everything getting a bit much and freaking you out? Does it not bother you? And it's sort of like, no, you're really good at being selective. I'd love to hear your opinions. So comment on the video below if you're watching on YouTube. Send me a message on Patreon. I might even read it on the next episode. Interact on socials, on the Refreshing Thoughts socials. I would love to hear from you and see what you think. And I do warn you that if any company sends you a tracking notification and it says shipment information received from sender, your product is not in hand with the tracking company. Okay, it's just not. Until it says item on hand and in destination, in transit to the destination, that's when your product's on its way. Just so you know, take it from me that works for a really big logistics company here in Australia and is management in that company. That's just how it works. Another thing I'll quickly talk about before I go, I'm always terrified because I'm stuck using StreamYard and it's internet based. I'm worried I could be freezing like I was last episode, which drove me crazy, but I'm going to let it go. I have had these bookcases for years now. They were a Facebook marketplace find. They're Billy bookcases with glass doors put on them. They weigh a ton. I have gone through, I've moved them 3 times. From where I purchased them to a house, from that house to another house, then to this house here. The weight of them and everything has made them wonky. They needed to be replaced. And I have bought new Billy bookcases. They are going to be built. I'm going to have to take all those figures out, take those cabinets out, and put the new bookcases in. Now, what I'm controversially going to do is no glass doors, because one of the things I hate is how hard it is to access the shelves if something falls. But what I'm also going to hate is accessing the shelves or constantly stuff falling and just knocking everything down and the glass doors not catching them. Because I don't know if you can see, as you can see, I'm a terrible poser of my toys, but you can sort of see a lot of the Master Universe, like Hordak's doing the Michael Jackson Moonwalker dance where he leans forward. Some of their rockers, the ankles are a bit loose and stuff, and they tend to fall. A lot of these figures are old, the vintage stuff. I realized I was using my arrow pointer, and that doesn't turn up on the screen. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. I'm going to be changing around my setup. I love my toys. I hate standing them and setting it up. I love how it looks once it's so on my next Refreshing Thoughts, I might even do a bonus where I show you the progress and how I've gone. Another thing about me that people know is I hate flat pack furniture. I hate building it. I hate building anything. Like my beautiful wife builds my blockies for me. She builds Lego for me. I hate building flat pack furniture. I went on Airtasker and I've just airtasked somebody to come over tomorrow and they're going to build the bookcases. Now, the funny thing is when I got these for we got them from a place in the Basin, which is out here in the eastern suburbs in Melbourne, and their driveway was on a slant, on an angle like that. And I had Mitch and Jonesy of the Gig Dudes giving me a hand, and it was so hard moving these cabinets. And poor Mitch has helped me move them every single time I've had to transport them around. And this last time, you can tell Mitch was in his 50s. Like he was struggling, I was struggling. It was a hot day. It was hard work. And I was like, dude, we're never moving these again. I've got some terrible news. With the bookcases getting built, we record Geek Dudes. This is on a Thursday. It's Thursday, the 23rd of October. On Friday, the 24th of October, we're going to record a new Geek Dudes and Hey Hey, It's the podcast. And I'm going to once again go to Mitch, go to Jonesy. Can you give me a hand getting these cabinets out? And we'll put the new cabinets in. Now, what I'll do before they get here, I've taken plenty of photos, so I remember how everything was laid out. I'm going to get the figures out so the cabinets are empty. I'm going to move them out. I think I'm just going to whack them on Marketplace and go, if you want them for $100, they're all yours. Get a trailer, get a truck, come get them. If they don't sell, I'm just going to put them out on Hard Rubbish, But, I'm sure somebody will find value in them. But you never know, maybe they don't. But I just want them gone. Never want to move them again. Looking forward to something fresh and something new. How do you display your collection? I'd love it if you sent me pictures of your collection. I would love to see that. I think it's I've got an email address that I can give you. Give me 2 secs. I haven't used in a while. Geek Dudes Mail, all one word, geekdudesmail@gmail.com. Send me your collection. I'd love to feature it on this show. I should have done a little thing. Maybe I'll keep pushing that. But if you want your collection featured and you want me to show a photo of your collection, I'd love to show it and talk about it and express what I think about it, because I'd love to see your passion and what you're into. I love seeing people's collections. Ben Sachs of the Toy Power podcast has been doing that very thing as they celebrate their 9th year. Not as many years as Geek Dudes, but still an admirable effort. But no, it's awesome. Saxy posts people's collections and just what people show, what they display, what they have. Collecting's magical. It's good fun. It takes us back to a place of happiness. It reminds us of the things we love. That's what we're here for. And that's why this is such a positive thing for me, even when I go, oh, I've got an issue with this, but ultimately I still love the game. I still love collecting. Thank you for checking me out. Once again, if you have the means and you want to get access to these episodes early and ad-free through the Patreon app, patreon.com/c/refreshing thoughts podcast/membership. And thank you to everybody that has subscribed to me on YouTube. I would love it if you subscribe to the channel, click like on the video, share it with your friends, get the word out there, just building that base and hopefully building something special. Thank you for checking out the show and hope to hear from you in the comments. We'll speak soon.